Today is day number 2 of the idea of constructing triangles. We started the idea yesterday where I would give you some information and you tried your best to create a triangle from the information that was given to you. So why are we constructing triangles? Well, the reason is because one of the 7th grade standards says this, that you are supposed to draw either freehand or with a ruler and protractor certain geometric shapes with given conditions, where we're basically trying to determine whether we have a unique triangle, which we saw that yesterday, more than one triangle, or no triangle. So that's the exact reason why we are trying to construct them. So now let's go to number 6. Yesterday we did 1 through 5. I want you to try and draw a triangle that has one triangle where one angle is 80 degrees, a second angle is 40 degrees, and a third angle is 10 degrees. So you're trying to draw one triangle that has all 3 of those angles. So I'll give you a minute or 2 to try and figure that out. So as you are attempting to draw this triangle, some of you have recognized or realized something. Some of you are trying, then you're erasing, then you're trying, then you're erasing, and so on. But we need to think about perhaps some of the things that we've learned in the previous lessons. So as some of you are going through this, the reason why you can't make a triangle is because it's not possible. And that's the reason why we have something that we talked about last week, which is the triangle sum theorem. The triangle sum theorem says that if you add all 3 angles in a triangle, they are supposed to add up to 180. I have something to tell you. 80, 40 plus 10, that's not 180. In fact, it's not even close to 180. So as you were trying to draw, what some of you did is you tried to start with your 80 degree angle, so that's about an 80 degree angle right there. And then you rotated your paper around and you tried to do a 40, so that's about a 40. And then what you did is you kind of assumed that that was a 10 degree angle, but it's not. And if you had measured it, which I made some of you do, you realized that this one looked like it was around 60. There's a reason why it was around 60, and that's because 80 plus 40 plus 60 is 180 degrees. A 10 degree angle is about that big right there. Might be a little bigger than that, but it's not much bigger. So that's the reason why some of you are struggling trying to actually come up with a triangle in this one. No triangles are possible. Why? Because of the triangle sum theorem. The triangle sum theorem, one more time, tells us, and you should be adding that to your notes, that the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. And in this problem, the angles don't add up to 180. 80 and 40 and 10 only makes 130. All right, any questions with number 6? The reason why we can't make a triangle here is the 3 angles don't satisfy the triangle sum theorem. It's not possible. We cannot create a triangle with those 3 angles. All right, let's go to number 7. This time we're going to grab our ruler, and I want you to try and create a triangle with sides of 2 centimeters, 6 centimeters, and 2 centimeters. I want to know how many triangles you can make. So as you went through this one, you realized you can't make it, right? But the question is, why can't you make a triangle out of this? This is something we talked about last week, like the triangle sum theorem. Why can you not make a triangle out of these 3 sides?
Because the median number 2 and smallest number side 2 is not greater than the largest number.
Yeah, and that's called the triangle inequality. If you take the 2 smaller sides and add them together, 2 and 2 is 4. That's not bigger than 6. Some of you used the reverse of that the second day, where we took the larger side, which is 6, and subtracted the medium side, which is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4, and that's not less than 2. So it is because of the triangle inequality. That's the reason why we can't make a triangle. So there's a couple of lines there for this one and the previous one where you're supposed to write the reason why. In number 6, the 3 angles didn't satisfy the triangle sum theorem. In this one, the sides don't satisfy the triangle inequality. And that's why we learn things like that, so that we can recognize, oh wait, I can't make a triangle because of these things. All right? Let's go to number 8. And in number 8, it says we have 2 sides and an angle between them are given. The side lengths are 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and the angle is 45 degrees. Now the first thing that I think we need to talk about here is, do all of you understand what 2 sides with an angle between them, do you understand what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Some of you probably think you do. Some of you probably do. But let's do a little bit of practice here. Can I have all of you put your pencils down for a second? Here we have triangle 1 on the left and triangle 2 on the right. Which one of these 2 is a picture where we have 2 sides with an angle between them that are given? Raise your hand if you know. Which one? It's number 2. Now if you didn't know that, look, here's the reason why. This is a given side. This is a given side. So these are the 2 given sides right here. This side over here, we don't know what that one is. It's not given. So we have 2 given sides, and right here is the angle in between them. That's what 2 given sides with an angle between them means. So this is the one that is that situation that we're trying to figure out. Let me give you another one just to make sure we got it down. Raise your hand if you can tell me which of those 2 is a picture of 2 given sides and an angle in between them. And I'm asking this because in number 8, that's what your picture kind of needs to look like. 2 given sides with an angle between them. Stefan. It is number 1, because right here, this is a given side, that's a given side, so those are the sides with the angle in between them. This is not that situation, so this is the one that looks like that. So when you draw your picture in number 8, that's what you're trying to deal with. 2 given sides of 5 centimeters and 4 centimeters, and an angle in between them that is 45 degrees. Go ahead and try and draw that triangle. So in this one, we're trying to draw a side length of 5 centimeters. And when I say you should label, what I'm saying is, if this is the side that's 5 centimeters, write 5 centimeters right there. And if this is the side that's 4 centimeters, then write 4 centimeters right there. And then we're supposed to make a triangle. And if this is the angle that is 45 degrees, then that's where you need to put it. Because that's where angles are located, and that's where sides are located. So make sure, excuse me, that you label things the way that we're supposed to. Excuse me. So, only one triangle is possible. This is defined as a unique triangle, and we have a couple of lines where we're supposed to be adding some stuff here. And this leads us to a new theorem titled SAS, or side, angle, side. And a picture of that would look something like this. And I'm going to stop for a second to let everybody get caught up. Yesterday we ran into our first situation where we could create a unique triangle, and that was with side, side, side. So if I ask you to create a triangle with 3 sides, as long as it satisfied the triangle inequality, there's only one that you can make. The same thing is true with a side angle side situation. If I give you 2 sides and an angle in between them, there's only one unique triangle that you can create. So far, we have side, 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 and side angle side. All right, let's go to the back side of our notes. And we're going to attempt number 9. Number 9 says 2 angles and a side between them are given. Now the first question I have to ask is this. Do all of you understand what 2 angles and a side between them means? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of pictures here. Which one of those has 2 angles with a side in between them? I want you to talk with your shoulder partner very quickly. Which one of those has that situation. And it happens to be both of them. Here in number 1, we have an angle and an angle with a given side in between them. In number 2, we have an angle and a given side that's in between them. So when you draw your picture for number 9, that's the kind of situation you're trying to do. 2 angles and a side between them. So we're trying to use angles of 45 degrees and 50 degrees with a side of 4 centimeters in between them. I want you to try and create a triangle with that information. So as we recognize in this one, it is possible to create a situation like this. So where you should have started probably is with your side that is 4 centimeters. And then try to draw maybe a 45 degree angle off of that. And then a 50-degree angle, and it would look something like that. And when you label your angles and sides, this is what I mean by labeling. So that it's clear where the 45-degree angle is, it's clear where the 50-degree angle is, and it's clear where the 4 centimeter side is. Now, this leads us to a third situation where only one unique triangle is possible, and we call that angle, side, angle. So right now we have 3 situations where we can only create one triangle, and that would be side, 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 angle, side, and now angle, side, angle. So if I give you 2 angles with a side in between, there's only one triangle that you can make. If I give you 2 sides with an angle in between, there's only one triangle that you can make. If I give you 3 sides, there's only one triangle you can make. All right, so now our last problem for today, before we summarize this whole unique triangle, many triangles and no triangles, is number 10. And in number 10, you are trying to create a triangle with 2 angles and a side between them, which we've already talked about what that situation looks like, with angles of 100 degrees and 103 degrees, and the side that's in between them is 5 centimeters. So let's go ahead and try and draw a triangle with the information in number 10. All right, so number 10, what's going on in number 10? I asked if somebody wanted to volunteer their triangle, and nobody did. How come? Yes?
Because it's greater than 180.
So what does that mean?
You can't make a triangle.
You can't make a triangle with 2 angles of 100 and 103, right? With 100 and 103, you're already over 180 with 2 angles. It's not possible. So in this situation, because of the triangle sum theorem, we cannot make a triangle. The angles, those 2 angles alone add to more than 180. So we're going to end today with a summary of basically what we've talked about over the last 2 days. So we have some areas that we need to fill in our table. The ways to create unique triangles, and what that means is I can only make one like it, is if I give you 3 sides. So side, side, side. Or if I have 2 sides with an angle in between them, that's side, angle, side. Or, like in number 9, if I give you 2 angles with a side in between, that's angle, side, angle. And as it turns out, angle, angle, side will also work. That's why that's last. But typically we say side, side, side leads to one triangle. Side, angle, side leads to one unique triangle. Angle, side, angle leads to one triangle. Now, what are the ways where you can't make a triangle? Well, if it doesn't follow the triangle inequality, the sides don't follow that. If the angles don't add up to 180, that means it doesn't follow the triangle sum theorem. In all of these situations we've ran into over the last 4 lessons. And then, when is it possible to make many triangles? And we ran into some of those yesterday. If you are given 3 angles you can make many types of triangles. Those are similar triangles. Or if I only give you two pieces of information. And that's kind of how we started yesterday's lesson. Now, the point of listing them out like this is you're going to get questions over the next few days like this. I'll say, I'll give you sides of 2, 3, and 4. How many triangles can you make? Well, the first thing you need to do is make sure that it works for the with the triangle inequality. And then you would say 1 triangle because it satisfies side, 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 and so on. So you'll keep coming back to this chart depending on what kind of triangle you might be given. Okay?